You ever wonder how some brands just seem to be everywhere, while other companies, maybe with great products, just kind of fizzle out? Well, I promise you, it's not magic, it's strategy. Today, we're going to build that strategy from the ground up, piece by piece, using this pyramid as our guide. So let's get into it.
Okay, so let's kick things off with a really important question. What's the actual difference between a great product that you might buy once and a great brand that you stick with for life? The answer to that is the absolute foundation of our entire pyramid. And that leads us right here to the base layer, your brand. Before you even think about writing a social media post or designing an ad, you have to answer this one fundamental question. Who are you? And believe me, this isn't just some fluffy exercise. It's the anchor for everything that comes next.
So, what even is a brand? Well, it's definitely not your product, and it's not your logo. It's a perception. It's the public's gut feeling about your company. You can think of it like a personality, a reputation that you build through your values, your culture, and the way you talk to people. This distinction is so important to get right. Think of it like this. Your brand is your permanent identity. It's who you are. Marketing, on the other hand, is just how you get people's attention at any given moment. Your marketing tactics are going to change all the time, but your core brand, that should be solid. And when you build a really strong brand, you gain something incredibly valuable called brand equity. Let me give you an example. Imagine two identical bottles of sunscreen on a shelf. Same ingredients, same size. But one is from a brand you know and trust. Brand equity is how much more you're willing to pay for that name you trust. It's literally value built on trust. Okay, so our brand foundation is set. It's solid. Now it's time to build the next layer up, the blueprint. Because a strong brand without a plan is just a good idea going nowhere fast. This is where your strategy and your goals come into play. So what do we mean by a digital marketing strategy? At its heart, it's a roadmap. It's the plan that makes sure every single tweet, every email, and every ad isn't just a random shot in the dark. Instead, it's a coordinated push toward a big, important business goal. And this isn't some messy, chaotic process. It's actually a pretty logical cycle. You start by really digging in and researching your audience. Then you set clear goals. From there, you develop the strategy, create the content, and this is the most important part, you measure your results so you can get even smarter for the next go-around. Now, here's a crucial point. You have to make sure that your marketing goals are actually supporting your bigger business goals. Just look at this example. The company's huge goal is to grow its customer base by 25%. So, a good marketing goal isn't something vague like get more traffic. No, it's something specific, like increase lead generation by 40%. You see how one directly feeds the other? This whole concept directly impacts how you spend your money. For instance, a high-end jewelry retailer knows that people take a long time to decide on a big purchase. So they might put 40% of their budget into just making people aware that they exist, another 40% into content that helps people consider their options, and only the last 20% on trying to close the final sale. All right, with our blueprint in hand, we need the actual building materials. And in digital marketing, that's your media types. Every single channel you use is going to fall into one of these three powerful categories. First up, we have paid media. This is pretty straightforward. It's any promotion you pay for. Think social media ads or search engine ads. The huge advantage? It is fast. You can get results almost immediately. But the downside is just as simple. The second you stop paying, the results just disappear. Next up is owned media. Think of this as your home base, your website, your blog, your company's social media profiles. It's all the digital real estate you fully control. Its job is to provide real value and convince visitors to stick around. The only challenge? It can't do much on its own. You've got to get people there in the first place. And finally, we have earned media. This is basically the digital version of word of mouth. It's all the positive reviews, the social media shoutouts, the good press that you get without paying a dime for it. You don't own it, but man, is it powerful for building real trust and a solid reputation. But you know, the real magic happens when these three start working together. You can use paid ads to drive traffic to your awesome owned content, which is so good that it generates positive earned media, which in turn built your brand even more. It becomes this powerful, self-sustaining cycle. All right, we've got our foundation, our blueprint, and our materials. Let's move to the final piece of the pyramid, the tools. These are the specific tactics you'll actually use to go out and build your campaigns.
First up in the toolbox is SEO, or search engine optimization. Really, this is just the art and science of getting your website to show up higher in search results without having to pay for ads. The goal is simple: get more and better traffic from places like Google. At its core, good SEO really rests on three main pillars. First, you have to know what words people are actually typing into that search bar. Second, you have to create high-quality content that answers their questions. And third, you need to make sure your website is structured in a way that's easy for both people and search engines to understand. Now, it is absolutely crucial to understand the difference between SEO and its cousin, SEM. I want you to think of it this way. SEO is the marathon. It's a long-term effort, but the results you get can last for a long time. SEM, on the other hand, is the sprint. You pay for immediate results, but they vanish the moment you stop paying. At its core, SEM is basically an auction. You bid on certain keywords, and if your bid wins, your paid ad appears right at the top of the search results. The best part? You usually only have to pay when someone actually clicks on your ad. That's why it's often called the pay-per-click or PPC model. Okay, let's talk social media. A great social media presence is so much more than just posting pretty pictures. It's a whole system, really, built on these 5 pillars, from having a clear strategy and a publishing plan, all the way to listening to your audience and carefully analyzing your results. And what about good old email? Let's be perfectly clear here. Good email marketing is not spam, not even close. Spam is unwanted, it's generic, and it's sent to a massive list. Real email marketing is sent to people who actually asked for it. It's relevant and helpful, and its main goal is to build a relationship, not just to make a quick sale.
So how do you make email marketing so effective? Well, it usually comes down to 2 key techniques. Segmentation is just dividing your audience into smaller, more specific groups so you can send them more relevant stuff. And personalization is when you customize that content even more. Like using someone's memes so the email feels like it was written just for them.
So there you have it. From that solid brand foundation to the strategic blueprint, the media materials, and the tactical tools, your digital marketing pyramid is built. But the job isn't done. The final and maybe the most critical question remains: how are you going to measure its strength and make sure it actually stands the test of time?